Hello guys and welcome to Graphicality Studios, and this is Zap Designs here, and today we're going to learn about how to make a clean, simple, sleek, very appealing Twitter header. Now what we have here is a header I did for Premiere. You can go follow them at I think it's twitter.com/PREMIIERR. I'm just going to put it in the description so you can just click on it rather than just searching him. But make sure to drop him a follow. But back to the point that we're going to get to for this video. We're trying to create a very simple 2D header for basically anyone, a business, player, gamer, yourself, whomever. So let's just get right into it. I'm just going to create a new document, Control N. It's going to be 1500 by 500, which is the Twitter recommended size, I guess you want to put it, which I believe is at a, I want to say it is a 3:1 ratio. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah, that's a 3:1 ratio. So, yeah, let's just get started. You can keep the resolution the same. Make sure it's on RGB 8-bit color, unless you want to do 16-bit, but it's not really necessary for a web. I just want to keep that on transparent and keep everything the same. And let's get started. So what I'm going to do is I already have the color here. You can copy this. I'm using E62936 for the color. But I'm just going to fill it in. And it's my background, so I'm going to do Control Backspace to quick fill that. And I'm just going to actually label things. And when I was recording this earlier, actually a few minutes ago, I didn't have my audio correct. And I played back the whole 24-minute tutorial that I recorded. And yeah, it's all no audio. So, uh, anyways, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to start in by placing the logo by going to File, Place, get their Premiere logo. I'm just going to put that in there. Now, what we want to do, I'm going to use the font Panton, I believe is the correct term. And come on, what are you doing? I believe it's Panton. You can find it in Google. You do have to pay for it unless you want to use the 4 free weights that they offer, which is what I did. I think there's around like 20 weights or something. I'm not for sure. You can go look it up if you want to purchase it. But I'm just gonna do this. So his name was Premier. That's how you spell it. I'm gonna double check. Yep. And I believe that's like dead on the size almost. So I'm just gonna keep it that. And what you want for this design, you want very bright colors and whatnot. So what I have is a very vibrant background, and then I have some lighting and white text to stand out so you can read it easily, and it's very, very appealing. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go over here and go in here, take the affiliates. What you can do is just take all your sponsors or whatever you're doing, social media, and if you're doing sponsors, just take the logo, get your Marquee tool, select the logo, cut it out of the layer, and put a color overlay by going to Effects, Color Overlay, and just change it to white. But I'm just going to take this and drag it in here. And as you can see, it is red, actually kind of pinkish. I am just going to, hopefully my Photoshop doesn't crash, not gradient, sorry, color overlay, and I'm just going to select a white. And I'm going to align it with the Premiere text, and sadly I was wrong. That is not the same size. Pretty close though. Oops. Why did that do that bad? There you go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to group this and this. Select both of these holding control, and when I'm grouping I'm doing control G. If I'm going too fast, please comment below and I'll help you almost within 12 hours, almost, maybe a little bit more. But I'm going to select both of these holding control, and I'm just going to center it up like that. And whoops, I'm going to move these down way too close. Again, I'm going to select them again, make sure it's centered with the logo. And I'm just going to zoom out, make sure it's around the same size. That's almost dead on. It's like 1 or 2 pixels off. You can have it centered, but for this tutorial, I'm just going to offset it like I have here. I think it's just really clean. But anyways, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a marquee tool, my rectangle marquee tool. Create a new layer down here. Make sure your foreground color is white, which is all F's for the hex code. And just fill it in by holding Alt backspace to fill in with your foreground background. Foreground color. Why did I say background? Foreground color. Anyways, I'm going to do Control T and hold Control and just click this corner so I can make a slant. And I'm going to make it around 12 degrees. Yeah, let's just keep it like that. I'm going to move it over just a little bit. And there you go, how neat is that? And then to get this pattern, I'll just go up to File, New, create a 1920 by 1080 canvas, or a document. And I'm just going to quick fill that with my red, Control backspace. And what I'm going to do, whoops, I'm going to go back to this 1080p document. I'm going to go to place the logo, and shrink it down. Make sure to rasterize whatever you're importing, because what we're about to do is very important. You don't need a smart object. It's not going to work for some reason. I have no clue. At least it doesn't work for me. But I'm going to duplicate it doing Control J, then transform, Control T, and then I'm just going to move it. And I'm going to have this spacing from here to here, even from here to here. So I'm just going to move it up like that, and make sure this line is just even. I think that's good. So when you do that, here's a cool command you can learn, is to pretty much just repeat the transform that you just did to the layer that you're selecting from the last transform you did. So just do Control Alt Shift T, and what that will do is what I just said. Just keep doing it over and over a few times. Make sure you get a lot in there. I'm going to select all those holding Shift like that, and then I'm just going to do Control E to merge those. And what you can do is do Control J again, Control T to transform, move it down, and the gaps here will be almost even. Try to get them as even as possible for my case. And let me see how I had it here. This is even with that. So I'm just going to even this line with this one. So this might be good. It's good to use your rulers, Control R, bring up your guides, and just kind of see where that line is. But sorry. And once you do that, just I did that completely wrong, didn't I? I did that completely wrong. Alright, once you have your layer, just I forgot to do Control T. You always got to do Control T when you're doing the replication of the transform. Just gonna line it up with that again. There you go. And just duplicate that a bunch of times, and you can see it creates a pattern. You can use pattern overlay, but for this specific logo, it's not going to work because of how I want them placed. And once you have that filling the whole document, just drag it down here. You can transform it. I'm just going to shrink it down just a little bit. And what you want to do is actually, forgot to mention, this needs to be this color, the red, because it's going on white. You can just collapse that, and what you can do is just align this however you want in the box. Just make it look good, right? And I think that's good. We'll keep it like that. Now what you want to do is select this layer right here, which is your white side. It's a box type thing. And just hold Control and click the new layer, and what that will do is create a new layer underneath the previously selected layer. Get your brush on that layer you just made. Make sure your foreground color is black. Make your brush around that size, maybe just a little bit smaller. Click once around this area, and click again around this area. Make holding Shift. So I clicked once. I'm gonna do that. I clicked once here. Hold Shift. Click again down here, and pretty much that makes a straight line diagonally. I'm gonna redo that. That looked bad. Like that. Maybe just click once, and I'm just gonna duplicate this. Change this one to the blending mode to overlay. Just keep that normal. And I'm just gonna lower these down around 20, 30, maybe even 35. Just want to make that noticeable, not very dark, just something that you can see easily. Now we got the basic. You can stop here if you want, but if you want to have some cool, like just very subtle lights and whatnot, then just keep watching. What I'm going to do is create a layer above the logo, the pattern logos layer, and select your foreground color as white. Get a soft brush, and make sure when you do that shadows hardness down to 0, feathered brush. And I'm just going to click back to what I was doing. I'm going to click once on this layer with the brush, go down here, and then click again. I'm just going to change that to overlay. As you can see, it creates, I don't know, I think it looks cool. It just kind of brightens it up. I'm going to get a black. This is just to create just a little bit of darkness on it. And let's change that up. Actually, just keep that down. And just change that to overlay and switch that down to 50%. And what that did was just add just a little bit of lighting on that. And now for the lighting over here, just create a new layer above every single thing. Make sure your foreground color is white. And I'm going to do it towards the center of the whole header. So make a brush size around, yay big, around the center. And make sure your opacity is up all the way, or your flow, whatever you're using. And just click once, and I'm going to lower it down to around 50. This one, I believe this one is 45. Yeah, that's almost dead on. And create a new layer. I'm just going to click once down here, and just click overlay. Bring it down to 50. And also shortcuts for opacity. If you have your move tool selected, you just click 5 on your number pad. It will bring it down automatically to 50. You can also type in double digits, so let's change this back to 100. Maybe if I want 57%, just type in 57 and it'll automatically change the opacity to 57. Now with your brush, it will change when you have your brush selected. It will change that rather than your layer. So let's change that back to 100. You can also, when your brush is selected, just press enter and type in the number you can do that. Let's just change that back up to 100. And let's go back to change this to 50. And I believe that's it. I mean, I did add a brightness and contrast. So let's just do that to demonstrate. Just going to lower it and just bring that up. And I believe I did lower it, I think. Yep, I lowered it to 75. That's almost dead on to the original. It's very close. But basically, guys, that's how you do it. Uh, it's very simple. It's very clean. I think I did it with less layers here. Uh, maybe. Yes, I did. Just a little bit, like 1 or 2 layers less, but that's pretty much it, guys. Uh, Make sure to go to our website. If you want to apply, make sure to fill out an application. And if you want some anything made, edits, graphics, logos, etc., make sure to submit a contact form on our website, graphicalitystudios.com. This is App Designs. We're out.